You're about to click that drink package button, but stop. You're about to make a several $100 mistake, and the cruise line won't refund it. I worked on cruise ships for 7 years, in bars and guest services, and if you don't do this simple math first, you're throwing money away. Let me be clear from the start. Drink packages aren't a scam, but they're designed to make the cruise line money, not save you money. The psychology is brilliant. You see unlimited drinks, and your brain goes into vacation mode. You think you'll drink more than you actually will. I've watched thousands of passengers buy these packages, and I'd say 7 out of 10 people overpay. Not because the package is bad, but because they never did the math before buying. Today, I'm walking you through the exact calculations you need to make before you spend a single dollar. By the end, you'll know whether the package saves you money or costs you more. First, let's talk about what these packages actually cost. On most major cruise lines, drink packages run between $60 and $100 per person per day. Let's use $70 as an average. That sounds reasonable until you add it up. On a 7-day cruise, that's $490 per person. If you're cruising with your spouse or partner, that's $980 total. Almost $1,000 just for drinks. Now, if you're a heavy drinker and you love cocktails all day, that might be worth it. But for most people over 60 who I worked with, it's not. Here's why. To break even on a $70 per day package, you need to drink about 7 drinks daily, every single day of your cruise. And those drinks need to be the ones covered by your package, not the premium stuff that costs extra. I'm talking standard cocktails, wine by the glass, beer, soda, and specialty coffee. Let me paint a realistic picture. Most passengers I saw would have a mimosa at breakfast, maybe skip drinks until lunch, have a glass of wine with dinner, and perhaps one cocktail by the pool or at the evening show. That's 3 drinks. On a $70 package, you're paying over $23 per drink. You could buy those same drinks individually for $10 to $15 each and still save money. Second, port days destroy the value. This is the part cruise lines don't emphasize when they're selling you the package. On port days, most passengers are off the ship exploring from morning until late afternoon or evening. That's 6 to 8 hours you're not using your package. If you have 4 port days on a 7-day cruise, you're essentially paying full price for days you're barely on board. Let me give you a real example. One couple told me they bought the package for a Caribbean cruise with stops in Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Cozumel, and the Bahamas. They paid $70 each per day. They're adventure people, so they booked excursions at every port. Snorkeling in Grand Cayman, ziplining in Jamaica, beach time in Cozumel. On those days, they'd leave the ship at 8 in the morning and return around 6 or 7 in the evening, exhausted. They'd have maybe 1 drink with dinner and head to bed. 4 port days, times 2 people times $70 is $560. They used maybe 8 drinks total on those days. That works out to $70 per drink. They could have paid individually for those drinks and spent around $100 instead. At guest services, I explained packages are non-refundable and can't be paused for port days. Before buying, look at your itinerary. How many hours will you actually be on the ship and awake? Less than 8 hours? Value drops dramatically. Some passengers are ship people. They love staying on board during port days, enjoying the quiet pools and empty bars. If that's you, port days actually make the package more valuable because the ship is less crowded. But if you're an explorer who books excursions or wanders through port towns all day, you're paying for drinks you'll never have time to consume. Third, the couple rule nobody talks about. On most cruise lines, if one adult in your cabin buys the drink package, the other adult must buy it too. Even if your spouse doesn't drink alcohol, even if they only want coffee and soda. The cruise line's logic is that otherwise, one person could buy the package and share drinks. But what this really means is you're paying double, even when one person won't use it. I met a woman whose husband rarely drinks. 1 beer twice the whole cruise. She loves wine and wanted the package, but the system forced both to buy. At the desk, we did the math together. 2 packages at $70 per day for 7 days equals $980. George would use maybe 6 drinks total, worth about $75. Barbara would use maybe 40 drinks, worth around $500. Total value they'd actually use is $575, but they'd be paying $980. That's over $400 wasted. They decided not to buy the package. Barbara paid as she went and spent exactly what she wanted without the pressure. This rule affects so many couples where one person drinks significantly more than the other. Maybe one spouse is on medication that doesn't mix with alcohol. Maybe one is pregnant. Maybe one simply doesn't enjoy drinking. It doesn't matter. If you want the package, both adults pay. The only exception I ever saw was if one adult had a documented medical condition preventing alcohol consumption, and even then, they needed a doctor's note and approval from the cruise line. My advice? If you're in a situation where drinking habits are very different, skip the package entirely. The person who drinks more can order freely and pay individually. You'll almost always spend less than buying 2 packages. Fourth, there are hidden limits and exclusions. The cruise lines advertise unlimited drinks, but there's fine print. Most packages cap at 15 drinks daily. Premium liquors and top-shelf wines often aren't included. Passengers ordered expensive whiskey thinking it's covered, then saw $25 charges later. Bars close at certain hours, so access isn't truly unlimited. And gratuities are added to the package price, usually 18%. That $70 package is really $83 per day after tips. Always calculate the real total before deciding. Fifth, your drinking habits matter more than you think. Be honest with yourself. How much do you actually drink on vacation? I'm not talking about that one wild weekend in Vegas 20 years ago. I'm talking about a week-long cruise where you're pacing yourself, eating 3 meals a day, possibly dealing with seasickness or fatigue, and frankly, getting older. Most people over 60 that I worked with averaged 3 to 4 drinks per day. Some days more, some days none. On a $70 package, you'd need 7 drinks daily to break even. That's 1 drink every 2 hours if you're awake for 14 hours. It sounds exhausting just thinking about it. Here's a realistic week. Day 1, 3 drinks. Day 2, 1 drink. Day 3, port day, 1 drink. Day 4, 4 drinks. Day 5, port day, 1 drink. Day 6, 5 drinks. Day 7, 2 drinks. Total, 17 drinks. On a $70 per day package, you paid $490. At $15 per drink individually, you would have spent $255. You overpaid by $235. One gentleman I'll never forget came to me on day 6 and said he'd been tracking his drinks. He bought the package and realized he'd consumed 12 drinks in 5 days. The package cost him $350 so far. Those drinks individually would have cost him about $180. He was upset because he felt locked into drinking more just to justify the cost, which was making him feel terrible. He said he wished someone had told him to track his normal vacation drinking before buying the package. That's exactly what I'm telling you now. Think back to your last vacation. How many drinks did you average per day? Be brutally honest. Then multiply by the number of cruise days. If that number times the individual drink price is less than the package price, you'll lose money. Sixth, there are smarter alternatives. If you don't need the full package, many cruise lines offer more affordable options. A soda and coffee package might be $15 per day. A wine-only package could be $40. If you're someone who just wants a glass of wine with dinner and morning coffee, these smaller packages save you hundreds. Another strategy is to bring your own wine. Most cruise lines allow you to bring 1 bottle per adult on embarkation day. That's free wine for at least 1 or 2 nights. You can also take advantage of happy hour specials and drink of the day deals that some ships offer. I've seen savvy cruisers enjoy plenty of drinks without ever buying the package, simply by being strategic. Seventh, think about your health and energy. This isn't just about money, it's about enjoying your vacation. I worked closely with medical staff on ships, and I can tell you that alcohol-related issues are more common than people realize. Dehydration, falls, arguments, missed excursions because someone felt terrible, and just generally feeling lousy the next morning. If you buy the package, There's psychological pressure to get your money's worth. You drink more than you normally would simply because you've already paid for it. That's not relaxing. That's turning your vacation into a drinking obligation. One woman in her late 60s felt obligated to drink 7 cocktails daily because they'd spent $2,000 on packages. By day 4, she was exhausted and nauseous, forcing drinks she didn't want. I told her to forget the sunk cost and enjoy the rest of her cruise. She did, and the second half was far better. Alcohol affects you differently as you age. Your body processes it slower. Add in ship motion, heat, different routines, and drinking heavily becomes physically uncomfortable. Passengers missed port days feeling sick from the night before. They paid for excursions and packages, then couldn't leave the ship. That's waste, not vacation. My point is this: don't let the financial pressure of the package push you into drinking more than your body comfortably handles. Your health and enjoyment are worth more than breaking even on a drink package. 8th, pre-cruise discounts can be tricky. Cruise lines often offer discounted drink packages if you buy them before your cruise instead of on board. It looks like a great deal. 20% off, sometimes even 30%. The discount sounds amazing. You're thinking, I'm saving $150 by buying now. But here's the catch that tripped up countless passengers I dealt with. It's still a lot of money up front, and once you buy it, you're completely locked in. Non-refundable, non-transferable. If you board the ship and realize you don't want it, you can't get your money back. I had passengers come to guest services on day 1, sometimes within hours of boarding, asking to cancel their pre-purchased package. Maybe they felt seasick and didn't want alcohol. Maybe they realized the drink prices weren't as high as they'd feared. Maybe they just changed their minds. The answer was always the same. I'm sorry, but pre-purchased packages are non-refundable. Policy is firm. They were stuck paying for something they'd never use. One couple bought packages months early at a discount. 2 weeks before sailing, the husband was prescribed medication incompatible with alcohol. He couldn't drink the entire trip. They requested a refund. Denied. Another trap: you're committing before knowing your actual energy level. You imagine drinking cocktails all day. Reality is reading by the pool and napping. Imagined vacation doesn't match real vacation. Buying on board lets you feel out your routine first. Pre-purchasing months early is guessing. Guess wrong, lose hundreds. My advice is this: don't let the discount pressure you. Yes, you might save 20 or 30% by buying early. But if you're not absolutely certain you'll use the package enough to break even, that discount doesn't matter. 30% off something you shouldn't buy in the first place is still wasted money. 9th, watch out for specialty drinks. Not all drinks are created equal on a cruise. Standard cocktails, domestic beer, and house wine are usually covered, but frozen drinks, premium cocktails, fresh squeezed juices, and energy drinks often cost extra even if you have the package. I saw passengers shocked when their fancy poolside daiquiri wasn't included. Read the fine print carefully. Know exactly what's covered before you buy. Otherwise, you'll still be paying out of pocket for the drinks you actually want. 10th, consider your cruise length. Shorter cruises make the package less valuable. On a 3 or 4 day cruise, you have fewer opportunities to use it, and a higher percentage of your time is spent in port or sleeping. Longer cruises give you more chances to break even, but they also cost more upfront. A 14-day cruise with a $70 daily package is $980 per person. That's a significant expense. Make sure the math truly works in your favor. Here's the simple formula I always told passengers. Take the daily package price. Divide it by the average price of a drink on your ship, usually $12 to $15. That's how many drinks per day you need to break even. Then honestly ask yourself, will I drink that many every single day, including port days and sea days? If the answer is no, skip the package. Pay as you go instead. Track your spending with the cruise app if you're worried about overspending. You'll almost certainly spend less than the package would have cost. I'll finish with this. The cruise line makes money, whether you buy the package or not. They've done the math. They know most people won't drink enough to truly break even, but they'll buy it anyway because it feels like a good deal. Don't fall for the psychology. Do the math. Be honest about your habits. And remember, you're on vacation to relax and enjoy yourself, not to force yourself to drink 7 cocktails a day just to get your money's worth. If you found this helpful and it saved you money, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss more cruise tips that actually save you money. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever bought a drink package and regretted it, or did it work out great for you? I'd love to hear your story. And next time, I'll show you the 1 cabin upgrade that's actually worth paying for, and the 3 that are complete wastes of money.